everyone. I hope you are doing very well. So, today I'm super excited to launch a brand new playlist, a very great playlist that is going to be SQL Ki Paathshala. Yes, you heard it right, SQL Ki Paathshala. It is going to be a full learning school for SQL right here on YouTube, where we will explore everything from basics to advanced concept step by step. So whether you are a total beginner or you are coming here to brushing up your skills, this series is going to be designed in such a way that it will make an impact and it will make you a SQL pro in no time. So before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, because you don't want to miss the single class in the school. It is right. Okay, so let's start it. So in today's session, I have planned this playlist in such a way like I will be uploading theoretical first, and with the theoretical, I will try to upload the practice sessions as well. So before we move ahead, uh, this class in this session and today, like we are starting with the very first session. So let's name it as an intro to SQL. Don't worry if you have never heard about SQL before. So I will try to keep it simple, fun, and practical way. So ready? Let's deep dive. So in data engineering, let me try to show it visually. So you might be wondering like whatever we are talking about in the real world scenario, that is somewhere around data. So you will be saying how. So let's see. This is you. This is you. You're having some hair as well. Sorry, my drawing is bad. Oh, sorry, too bad. So, sorry, just joke apart. So, here is you, and you might be having some name, right? You might be having some name. You might be wearing some cloth. You might be having some kind of vehicle. You might be having uh, other stuff, like you might be having some bank details, and in the bank, whenever you are going to bank, you are doing some kind of transaction. So you will be wondering to know, like, these all things are nothing, just a data, because your name is containing first name and last name, that will be stored in some of the fields, that is again data. Your cloth, whatever you are wearing, that would be of some brand, that is also a data. Vehicle is also data, is going to be data. Bank is also data, because we have n number of bank that would be stored in some kind of other databases. We would be having the banking data, and whenever you are going to bank, you will be doing some kind of transactions, and transaction again is coming into data. So from your name, phone, apps, car, bank statements, everything is data. And you will be shocked to know, like, company generates massive amounts of data. So suppose if there is a company, and that company name is suppose XYZ, and they would be generating some kind of sales. They would be doing sales, so there would be some kind of sales data. They would, if that is a company and that is directly linked to the employees, or that is directly linked to the customers, so there would be kind of employee details, and there would be also customer details, employee details. And if that is actually selling some kind of things, let's say products, product is also data. So you will be seeing like this company XYZ is actually generating massive data, and all at once. So the big question is actually arises, if it is generating this much amount of data, how do we store all this data efficiently? Just think about it. So you would be thinking, okay, if it is generating this kind of data at personal level, you will think like, we will use diary. Okay, diary, why diary? Because you would be thinking, okay, suppose this is me, and I would be having only name, and again I will be having some kind of vehicle, I would be having some kind of contact, and then I would be having some kind of transactions which I will do. I will store my data in let's say in a diary. Okay, let's again think you can store your data in diary, but what about you are working in some kind of institution? Will that store in diary? No, bro. You're not in old era. You're now in 21st era, 21st century. So you will say, oh, if that is not diary, can be stored in Excel. Then okay, Excel is also a good idea, but Excel is actually limited. You can store everything in data, you can store it, but when it comes to the company wise, to the place where the massive millions of data is actually going to be recorded, then Excel will crash. Excel will crash. You will say why? Because that cannot hold millions of data. It is up to certain level, and when you are going to handle millions of data, you won't be able to handle that. That's why, if when it will crash, then manual searching will not be possible. And even if you have millions of data, you can't do the manual searching. That is why company uses databases. Company uses databases. Okay, so let's come. Okay, so what is database? You'll be thinking, okay, diary, Excel, now database coming. Database something could be interesting. Yeah, it is interesting, because database is actually is like a super organized container. It is just a container. We can say it is a super organized container. Super organized container. Oh, one just a second. I guess my pencil's width is actually a bit high. Let me stop for a while. Yeah. So you can think in this way, like database is actually like a super organized container. Okay, so you can think like, instead of dumping random files, what database will do, it will structure your data so that it will be very easy for access and management. So it will store the data very efficiently, so that the whenever so whenever you're going to ask, hey database, where is my data? So that will give, okay, your data might be storing here, you can go and get the data here. That is okay. You know the path, and like how your data is going to be stored here. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, if that is the case, database, then how I'm going to interact with the database? Obviously, so if you're going to interact with something, you should know the password. Password in the sense, let's say you are in Karnataka, and you are going there, and suppose you are from north, and you went there to a shop, and you are saying, Babu, dosa dona. So you would be getting dosa. No, I guess no. If the person is not knowing the Hindi, then you won't be able to get the dosa. What you will do, you need to convey that message in Kannada. So if you're conveying that message in Kannada, because that person would be understanding in Kannada only. So just like the that person, this database will understand a certain language, and that language we term it as SQL. What is SQL? SQL is actually a structured query language. We call it as SQL, or we call it as SQL. SQL. Okay. Okay. So now the thing is like, SQL comes up. How it is like actually going to be used? How we can going to ask the things directly to SQL? Because we have to convey that message to database, we need to write the SQL queries, because database can only understand the query. It is actually the query language only. It will understand the query language only. So if we are going to ask, what are the total sales last month? Database, you just have to write the query and database will give you the right result within a second. Suppose you are going to ask it, what customer bought product X, it will directly give you the query. So you don't have to like worry about that. You just need to learn this SQL and you will be master in communicating with the database. And in the data engineering, everything is communicating with the database. And if you're getting the data, how you're going to handle the data, how you are going to extract the data, that is what matters here. So you would be thinking, okay, I have the SQL. So why SQL is important? Why SQL is important? Let's say, so SQL is important because SQL is actually kind of backbone of data. Why backbone of data? Because it actually handles millions of records very efficiently. It handles millions of record, and even after handling that, the data, it will keep your data secure. Keep your data secure, and it will keep your data secure. And what it will do, like next thing, like it will organize your data professionally for analysis and decision making. Organizes data professionally. Okay, sorry for my bad handwriting. So it will organize your data very professionally. So why important? Because if you want a career in data, learning SQL is must. So just I give you the example, like UP guy came to Karnataka, and he's asking in Hindi. You're not going to get anything. You're not going to get the dosa, bro. So for that, to get the dosa in Karnataka, you need to learn Kannada. Then only you will be able to communicate. Hey, bro, I need dosa in Kannada. He will give the dosa. So it just like in the professional way, it's just like moving to a new country and learning the local language. That's what the example here is. So that is about all about the data SQL. So we have learned about the SQL actually. So let's learn how many types of databases we have. How many types of databases we have? We have relational database. We have key value. We have key value like a dictionary. We have column based. We have graph. We have documents like that stores the data as entire document. That is actually that is maybe like flexible structure. That is we can mention it as a MongoDB. So in this course, we will be mainly focusing on relational database only. Relational database, that is actually SQL based. And we will practice. We will see how we are going to write the queries and all. So next thing we will see is database hierarchy. Database hierarchy. So in database hierarchy, what all things we have inside it, like the data is actually structured hierarchically only. So what all things we have? We have server. Then in the after server we have databases, and after databases we have schema. After schema, what we have? We have tables. After tables, what we have? We have primary key. After primary key, what we have? We have cells. Okay. So server is actually here to host multiple Database, which I mentioned, like it is a container of your data. Schema is actually here for logically grouping of related related tables. And tables here is kind of like spreadsheets with the column and rows. Column would be field and row would be record. Primary key would be, it is just kind of unique identifier for each record, just like your fingerprint. Your fingerprint is actually a unique identifier. Then we have cell. In the cell, it is actually kind of intersection of row and column. Let's say it is a cell. It is just an intersection of rows and column with a specific data type. The data type of this cell would be specific. Either it would be integer, decimal, char, varchar, date and time. So this structure actually ensures that data is actually organized, consistent, and it is very easy to query that. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm keep on saying like that the database stores the data in a very professional and organized manner, and everywhere data is very consistent here. Okay, so we have learned this thing as well, database hierarchy as well. So let's see few of the things, so that let in later videos we have to cover most of the other things in this is like hands-on practice on SQL. So in this video, let's learn about the SQL commands. What all different types of command we have. So in SQL, basically we have three types of command. Mainly three types of command. First one is DDL. Second one is DML. Don't worry, I will explain everything. Third one is DQL. DDL is actually data definition language. Data definition language. DML is data manipulation language. Okay. Then what is DQL? Data query language. Yes, you heard it right. Data query language. So in DDL, there would be few of the command. Command would be create, alter, drop. Don't worry. I will explain every command in detail. Everything in detail. Create command is here to create tables. Alter would be like to modify the existing table. Drop would be to delete the tables. There would be don't worry. I will explain everything. In DML, there would be command like insert and update and delete here. So insert would be to add a data, update would be to update the existing data, delete would be to remove the data. To remove the data, not table. Just remember it. Yeah. So data query language would be select. Select. So it will ask questions and get the result. So let's say select table name this, select star from this table, from this column. So I will explain, don't worry, I will explain. With this command you can create, manipulate and query your data very efficiently. So this is all about the SQL command. Let's learn one last thing, that is actually why, after learning SQL, why we should learn SQL. That's right, actually. That's interesting, no? After learning SQL, why SQL? So the top reason is actually to learn SQL is to talk to data. Talk to data, because almost all the companies store data in databases. We are not using the older version where we store manually. As I mentioned, why not manually? That is also I mentioned in the previous in the earlier. So the reason is talk to data. Another reason is high demand. SQL is actually required in job descriptions for data analysts, data engineers, data scientists. It is a very high demand. And other thing is actually in industry standard, because there are tools like Power BI, Tableau, Spark, Synapse that actually rely on SQL. So learning SQL is actually kind of liking gaining a superpower to communicate with data. So I'm making you very comfortable. I'm giving you the surety. If you have learned the SQL, then you have mastered the data engineering. You have mastered the data analyst. You have mastered the data scientist. You will become a pro in data. So that's why. So this was actually the all about my whole video. So that's your first step into SQL and databases. Why me my video went? Okay, yeah. So that's your first step into SQL and databases. In the next videos, we will learn more about SQL. We will practice queries. We will move from zero to hero in SQL. So get ready to master data like a pro. Yeah, stay tuned.